Okay. Welcome to Over and Back, everyone. This is our first ever video podcast. I'm joined with Jeff Nordgaard. We're going to get into who you are because I think some people might not know who you are in the grand scheme of things.
Well, first you got to tell them. First you got to tell them that I'm your number one listener.
You are my number one listener. Yeah. That is for sure. When I do these podcasts, you actually do text me and we talk about it. Obviously, we have a lot to talk about today. So if anyone didn't see the tweet or did see the tweet, we're going to talk about some draft stuff, 1996 versus 2003. I just told you before we came on here, I have some questions I'm going to drop on you that I'm very anxious to hear the answer of.
I'll be ready.
We'll talk about crazy parents because we're both parents, not crazy parents. We're both parents with sons in high school playing basketball, right? And as always, on Over and Back, we talk about Tyler Herro.
You talk about Tyler Herro.
I talk about Tyler, which brings me to my shirt. So we're going to talk about.
There you go.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about at least, I think, 5 people that were on the Miami Heat, if not more.
Yeah, the Heat will be very prevalent in this one. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so you just.
What you got there?
Good point. I was just first going to say, glitched a little bit. I have no idea if that'll show up on the recording, but I didn't hear what you said except what you got there. I have a lemon vodka and seltzer.
There you go. So you save your Chardonnay for your other podcast.
Wine is for spread and bread.
Gotcha. I got New Belgian triple in my left glass. That's what I'm going with right now. It's one of my new favorites. About 9 point on the ABV scale, so it gets me feeling good.
I thought maybe you'd have some Yingling.
Yeah, I don't have any. I'm waiting for the new delivery.
My buddy who's an electrician was just down in Georgia. God, I don't know, like a month or so ago, and he actually still has some Yingling. And every time I see it, I think about you.
There we go. I know. You send me your pictures.
That might be creepy. All right.
So let's get going.
Yeah. So we've talked in the past. Okay. So for those that do not, you and I know each other through basketball from years ago. Not because I'm good at basketball, just because I happen to play in a basketball league that you played in, and I guess whatever. We played in TBT before, the basketball tournament. Again, not because I was any good, just because I decided to kind of
organize
it. So, but obviously we've become friends and we've talked about basketball, and obviously our main connection is basketball here. So we've talked about doing a podcast together for a long time since I've been doing this stuff. So during this quarantine is probably the best time of all to talk about basketball. And right now you are frozen on my screen. Are you still there, Jeff?
Absolutely. I'm here. I hope I'm not too frozen. It's saying I'm unstable now.
Yeah. Am I glitching on your screen at all or no?
No, you're pretty good.
Okay. Which brings me my first thing. So I remember there was one time when I said your name on my podcast, Jeff. What do you get called the most? Norgie?
Norgie for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Norgie for sure. Some people call me Jeff, and then some people call me Norgie or Nordy. If they don't really know me, they think they know me, but they don't really know me. But if they do, then it's Norgie. I have some other nicknames too from my high school and college buddies that are a little tighter nicknames, but Norgie is no brainer.
Okay. So I brought this up to you because as far as the basis of this podcast, because we've talked in the past about it, but I thought this would be a good time to do it. You obviously clearly, and then the Ringer, Bill Simmons, they were starting to do, I don't know if you've seen it, but they started to do like a rewatchable, redraftable with all these drafts in the NBA, 96, 97, 98, 99, whatever. And there is a thought that the 96 draft might be one of the best NBA drafts. It is one of the best NBA drafts ever. And I have said that I go towards 2003. So I thought, you know what better person to get on this than a person that was in the 1996 NBA draft, which I'm assuming everyone who's listening to this or watching this right now knows that, but maybe they don't. So you're on here, or we're talking because you were part of the draft, and you're a bias, so agreed?
Well, let me just stop you there and say this. First off, yes, I've been listening to Simmons and Russillo and whomever else that Simmons has on his redraftables or whatnot, and I enjoy it a lot. And I have been telling people that the '96 draft is the best draft ever for a decade now. It's not anything new, right? And what you just said is, yes, I am biased. I am biased because I was in the '96 draft, and although I was a very small part of it, very minute piece, I know all these names. I played against and with these players, and they're a part of my basketball history. In fact, I have this right here that my nephew Con 2 made for me, and if you can see it, it's the '96, essentially the lottery picks or the best players, and he pasted me right in there in my Bucks jersey. So yeah, definitely that draft is near and dear to my heart.
All right, so we talked back and forth a little bit. Like, all right, should we not argue? Should we discuss what draft was better? Should we redraft these players? I don't care if we do that or not. I actually just kind of want to talk about the draft because I told you, like, I have a lot of questions that I wanted to ask you. I texted you. I said, I want you to think about yourself in 1996 in regards to 2003 and even 2020. Because to me, I just want to talk about basketball, right? Like this, we're in a weird, a weird state of the world right now with what we're doing. So I'll ask you this.
We'll talk hoops a lot, okay? But I want you to tell me.
I'm sorry. You glitched. What'd you say?
You tell me why you think 2003 is the best.
I told you this the other day. It's one name, and it's LeBron James.
Okay.
But we talked about that. Like, it's what makes it? Is it depth? Is it all stars? Is it all NBA? Is it what actually is it? Like, I didn't even know this. You told me this the other day that Ben Wallace was undrafted in 1996.
Right.
I did not know that. I had no clue that even existed. I did not know that at all.
Yeah. Well, I knew that, and I've known a lot of this stuff because I've made this argument, with people just in a bar or at a gym or wherever. And I don't know how you necessarily want to rate which draft is the best. Like what variables are weighted more. Right. There's no doubt that LeBron is the best player of if you compare both the drafts. He's the best player. Those people that tell me that Kobe is near LeBron they don't know enough about basketball. Okay.
Agreed.
Michael Jordan and LeBron are up here. Okay.
Yep.
Then there is others. Okay, that are 3 through 10. Okay. Michael and LeBron are up here. So LeBron gives 2003 something unique compared to 96. Now, if you go by the I put a few categories together. Hall of Famers, they both have 4. All right. So if you don't know the 96 Hall of Famers, it's Ray Allen, Kobe Bryant, Steve Nash, and Allen Iverson. And then the Hall of Famers for 03 are LeBron, D. Wade, Carmelo, and Bosh. All right. They both have only one guy who's a top 10 guy ever, and that's LeBron, who's probably 1 or 2, and then Kobe, who's 9, 10 in my book, somewhere in there. Some people will say he's a top 5er. I don't. And then the other thing about it, if you compare it to 1984, which has MJ, Charles Barkley, Akeem Olajuwon, and who's their other Hall of Famer? John Stockton.
Yep.
Yeah, they have 2 guys in the top 10 in MJ and Akeem, and then they have Barkley, who I would say is in the top 25. Nobody in these 2003 and 96 drafts are in the top 25, and except for maybe Dwayne Wade. Maybe you can put him in there, but
yeah. So I was gonna say we're gonna get. That's kind of one of my questions because I was a Barkley guy, and I soured on Barkley just because he's so anti.
Now he's anti now.
He so thinks that he's way better than any of these players.
Right.
I agree with you. I don't want to jump around. We're gonna end up jumping around because we just talking. So, what I was gonna ask you, which kind of relates to all this, and because the basis of this is like what we all think of opinion. Like you and I agree with you. You and I think that LeBron and MJ are here. Kobe's not there. There are people that argue that Kobe is better than LeBron, which
I know. Again, I don't get that. I don't get it.
Yeah, and maybe it's because obviously he just passed away, and maybe that people think that it lifts him up a little bit. But I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
But it is really hard to evaluate, and I said it earlier. It's really hard to evaluate talent when you go from 84 to 96 to 2003, and even now to 2020.
Right.
So the very first question I had written down to ask you was, if the Jeff Nordgaard of 1996, where would he be drafted in 2003, if at all? No offense. Mm-hmm. And would he be drafted in 2020?
I can tell you that for sure. We could have the 96 draft again, and I might not get drafted.
Okay, fair.
2003 draft, I don't think I would get drafted because by that time they were drafting more Europeans, and so those of us that were borderline guys, late second rounders would probably get dropped out of that draft. Now 2020, I don't know if I would get drafted, but I could play in the NBA now because of the way the NBA is. Meaning, now I think there's a lot more great players now than there ever has been, but what kept me from being a guy that lasted a few years or 5-6 years or whatever is not that I didn't know how to play or whatever. It was I didn't have anybody to guard. Okay, I didn't have anybody to guard. It was a different game back then. It was a lot of one-on-one. Now, with three of the guys on the court are spot-up shooters almost. I can guard those guys. Duncan Robinson, I can guard Duncan Robinson. Now he's still going to score 5 3-pointers a game, but he does that against the best NBA defenders now. There wasn't anybody in 96 like that. It was a different game. So I don't know. We could do all these 3 drafts, and I might not get drafted in any of them. But I think now I could play in the NBA before any of those other eras.
When you got drafted, if you go back to 1996, and it's actually funny that I've never asked you any of this stuff. It came up because we're talking, because obviously we're doing this, but do you think you were drafted because it was a Milwaukee team, or did that have nothing to do with it? Because obviously you played at GB.
Okay, I'll give you a little anecdote on this here. All right, so I did not have a tryout with the Bucks. I did not go to a camp with them. I didn't. They didn't bring me in for an individual workout or anything like that. I played in the Portsmouth Invitational tournament, which is where seniors go that aren't projected to be lottery picks, and no underclassmen there. It's seniors, and I played well there. I made the all tournament, and our team won the league. All right, that was being played there. I went to one team for workouts. It was the Philadelphia 76ers. All right, and Mo Cheeks was the coach at the time. And what I remembered about that, or what I was looking forward to into the draft, is that they had 3 second-round picks. 3 second-round picks. I'm like, all right, well, I might get drafted by them. All right, but when they drafted Ryan Miner early in the second round, that made me believe that they aren't going to draft me, because they're not going to draft 2 guys that are almost exactly the same.
I don't even know who that is. Who the hell is that? Who's Ryan Miner?
Right. And you wouldn't. You're young. You don't know.
I'm like 2. How old are you, Jeff?
47.
I'm going to be 43 in like a couple months. We're not that different.
Okay. So Ryan Miner was a 2-guard, 3-man from Oklahoma. But what he became famous for is, he never played in the NBA. What he became famous for is he was the guy who replaced Cal Ripken in the starting lineup when Cal Ripken's streak ended. He played third base for the Baltimore Orioles.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Wow.
So okay. To finish the story on it, second round, so I didn't think I was going to draft it. that was the only team that brought me in for a workout. And I was about falling asleep, and then the Bucks drafted, and they drafted me. It was pretty dang cool. Now, if I would have gone to North Dakota State, would they have drafted me? Maybe not. I don't know. But it was cool that they did, and it was a local spot. And nothing's guaranteed as second rounders, as you know. So it's really just being able to say I was an NBA draft pick, which is still pretty cool.
Did you that night of the draft? I'm assuming it sounds like you didn't think you were going to be drafted at that point, right? Just because the Sixers, and you just thought it was kind of done.
Well, I would have said I had less than a 50% chance of getting drafted. My agents had me at about 50-50, and so you know how agents are; they're trying to be positive. I would have said less than that. We didn't have some big party. It was a handful of us over at Chris Westlake's place, just off of GB campus. So not some big party.
Westlake. I hear Westlake and I laugh.
Yeah. But yeah, and it happened, and it was pretty cool. And then I went and did a little press conference type thing at Gippers on University, and that was kind of that.
Did you have plans at that point? Like, were you thinking, all right, I'm probably not going to go NBA, so I'm going to go overseas, or what? Like, what was your plan at that point?
At that time, I didn't have necessarily a plan to go overseas, but my agents were working on it. I didn't know where I was going to go, but my agents were working on what might happen. And just so you know how it happened back then, so you get drafted, and then you go and you work out at, back then it was the Cousins Center, so we were working out before Summer League, and then we went to Long Beach Summer League, and from there you kind of determine how things are going to be played out. Like, I had guys at Long Beach that I was playing with that left there to go play over in Europe. They signed to play in Europe that time, and they're like, all right, I'm gone. Now, for me, the Bucks had guaranteed contracts and no roster spot opening for a second rounder like me. They also drafted that year Ray Allen in the first round, and then Moochie Norris in the second round, and me. And yeah, remember Moochie?
yeah. I know that name. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was like, all right, I'm gonna go overseas, and it was a pretty much a no-brainer for me not to go into veterans camp. And I went overseas in August, and that was that for that season.
So tell us your.
Hold on. No. Let's go to the next step here. All right. Now we can intermingle some of those questions, but here's my biggest reasoning why 96 was the best draft ever. 11 All-Stars. 11 players from that draft played in the All-Star game. Okay? 9 from the 03 draft played in it, but I'm going to come back to that. And then 7 from the 84 draft played in the All-Star game, which is pretty good. But for the 03 draft, 9 of them played in it. But really there was only five All-Stars, because 4 of them were one-time All-Stars. Excuse me. Yeah, 4 of them were one-time All-Stars, and 1 of them was a 2-time All-Star. Okay? One-time All-Stars. Chris Kaman.
He made an All-Star game?
Yes. Josh Howard, Kyle Korver, Mo Williams, and then the guy who made it twice was David West. All right? So essentially
I hate David West.
Yeah. So essentially what you're saying is you got your 4 Hall of Famers that made the All-Star team, okay? So Carmelo, Bosh, LeBron, and D-Wade. 96, only one guy that made the All-Star team only made it once, and that was Sharif Abdur-Rahim. The other guys, a couple of them made it twice. Zdrunas Ilgauskas, one other guy made it twice, and then everybody else made it more than 2 times. That's my biggest argument why 96 is the best. And then 8 different guys made an All-NBA team, and only 4 again. So I could probably rest my case right there. I have some more arguments if you want them, though.
Well, no, I think your first argument, I think, is the opposite of an argument, because All-Star games mean jack shit. Like, Jamal McGlure made an All-Star game.
Right.
You just like, I granted, like, all these guys made All-Star games. I don't give a shit. because All-Star games are all voting. It's stupid. Like, it's just, whatever. All NBA, I'll take more. I agree. Again, goes back to what we said, though, like, what defines the best draft ever? Is it all NBA teams? Is it how many guys are Hall of Famers? Is it how many guys are in the top 10? Whatever it may be. I had asked you, obviously, we just talked about it, about if you think you'd be drafted in 2003, 2020. So I think we've had this conversation just being around each other enough. I think, obviously, the game has changed, right? Like, a big part of LeBron versus Jordan argument, a lot of people say, well, Jordan just played against bums, which I don't disagree with. Like, I don't. Like, athletes right now are bigger, stronger, faster. It's insane. Like, the NBA in 1996 did not ever see a Zion Williamson.
Right.
Correct? You can say it's Barkley. It's not Barkley. Like, Zion is another human being.
Right.
It's the reason I asked you, like, and you said you think you could play in the NBA now.
Right.
Could the top guys in 96, and I know this is not 96, but, like, this goes to the Jordan thing. Like, could Bill Laimbeer play in the NBA right now?
Probably not. I mean,
Right.
Let me just say this: he would not be a starting center on a championship level team.
Right. So
is what it comes down to.
Yeah, I mean, and I go back and forth in it. Like, athletically, the NBA right now is just off the charts. Like, there's just you can't even compare it to what it was in '96 or probably even 2003. But there is something to be said about guys that actually know how to play basketball. And we did TBT for a couple of years, and we proved to the fact that you have guys that just have never played at a really, really high level. You were the only NBA guy, but you and Paul, I guess. But if you play team basketball, anything can happen.
Right.
We played against some really, really good guys. So I go back and forth on it. And that's why we're just kind of obviously talking about it. But
I don't disagree with you on the fact that there's bigger, faster, stronger. And in my prime, I would not be included in that bigger, faster, stronger group. Certainly. That said, the reason why I said I think I could play in 2020 is because I see players that are playing that had my game. Whereas in 96, there weren't those players. There weren't the Duncan Robinsons. There weren't Gerald Green. Now I shouldn't, not Gerald Green, Danny Green, who's a Green that plays for the Lakers now.
Danny Green.
Guys that are spot up three guys.
Yeah.
They didn't have many of those back then. I don't have Gerald Green's athleticism, that's for sure. So that's why I'm saying that. Would I have gotten drafted? I don't know, probably not. But I think I could have played now better than I could have played then. That said, if I was in the right spot back then, I could have potentially been in a spot to be, have a 5-6 year career. After I played in 97, 98 with the Bucks, it was the lockout. So I was heading back overseas. A guy like me, I wasn't gonna hold out and wait for it. So I went back overseas, and I was pretty much over there for the rest of my real professional career. But in the right spots, I see some guys that went to Utah or San Antonio that could sit on the end of the bench on good teams and then develop into something. Whereas I was a rookie with the Bucks that weren't very good that year, and they weren't playing us rookies. So it's just situational. But that being said, I was fortunate. I was in the NBA for a short period of time. I've said this many times before. There were hundreds of people that are as good as or better than me that never played in the NBA. So I'm not making any.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Like, how many? I mean, you for sure obviously played against a ton of talent. How many of those guys never ever even get a chance in the NBA that definitely easily could have played in the NBA? Correct?
Right. Absolutely. I mean, a lot of them overseas, especially when I first got overseas, before the NBA started heavily recruiting overseas, or heavily scouting overseas, I should say. And then it went to a point then for a while where they were trying to find the next Dirk or trying to find the next Manu, and they were taken some stiffs, just to pray, poke and hope a little bit. But certainly it's a global game now, and you can draft from many more spots. And I don't think I would have been a draft pick, but I think could have been a player. All right, let's go back to this. I got some more of my argument here. All right.
I love it. You're still locked in on this 1996 draft thing.
All right. So I told you about the All-NBA. Now, lottery busts. So this is big. The draft is really about your lottery.
Yeah.
The draft is really about your lottery. Okay. 03. Obviously, Darko, the number 2 pick in the draft. Darko was a bust. Other players that were picked in the lottery, okay, from 03, TJ Ford, Michael Sweetney, Jarvis, what's his name? Jarvis Hayes, Michael Pietrus from France. I played against him in France.
The French Jordan. The French Jordan. You can't put him on this list.
Michael Pietrus. You don't think he was a lottery bust?
How many years did he play in the NBA?
Maybe 3.
Come on, no, he played more than 3 years in the NBA, didn't he?
I don't know. Who knows? Maybe. Okay, let's just take him off the bust list then. All right. I'm not talking about Boris Diaw here.
True.
And then another one, Marcus Banks. So if we don't include Pietrus, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Now we go to 96. The lottery busts. You can only include 2 on the lottery busts. Todd Fuller, who went to Golden State from North Carolina State. Yeah. And my man, the big V, Vitaly Potapenko from Wright State, the guy who I'm dunking on in this picture right here. That's the big V. Okay. Now, did they not have very long NBA careers? Absolutely not. Vitaly was okay. Fuller wasn't there for very long at all. But the biggest reason why they're lottery busts is because of the people that came right after them. The next 3 picks after Fuller and Potapenko were Kobe, Peja, and Steve Nash.
Technically, Nash is out of the lottery. Do you consider Eric Dampier and Samaki Walker not busts?
Eric Dampier was a very important player for multiple playoff teams. Samaki Walker, I would consider on the Pietrus scale. Yeah, you're right. You can put him in.
I'm actually, I can't even see right now. I'm looking actually at my browser on the draft to see who the players are.
Look at how many years Pietrus played. Hey, and while you're doing that, let me just name the 11 All-Stars from 96, so your listeners know who they all are. Allen Iverson, Sharif Abdur-Rahim, Steph Marbury, Ray Allen, Antoine Walker, Kobe Bryant, Peja Stojakovic, Steve Nash, Jermaine O'Neal, 6-time All-Star, Zydrunas Ilgauskas, 2-time All-Star, and then your guy that went undrafted, Ben Wallace. So those 11, and there's another guy who is probably just, was one of the best players not to make an All-Star team, and that's Marcus Camby.
Yeah, I actually Googled like unranked players that out of the 2003 draft. So it was or the top. I didn't know Jose Calderon wasn't drafted. Did you know that? 2003?
Well, yeah, I actually did, because I have a best undrafted from both the years, and Jose Calderon is the best undrafted player from 2003. And Ben Wallace is clearly the best one from 96, but also Chucky Atkins was undrafted, and he averaged 10 points a game in his career. And Eric Strickland from Nebraska averaged 7.5 points a game. That's nothing to write home about, but it's nothing to sneeze at either for an undrafted player.
Who did you ask me to look up? Pietrus. That's who I'm trying to find. Where was Pietrus drafted in 2000? Oh, here we go. I think he played 10 years, 557 games.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Really? Okay, so he's not a bust. I'll take him off of there.
Well, I mean, you can play 10 years and still be a bust. I mean, he was the 11th pick, but he's not.
He's better than I remember.
Yeah, he's not a bust in the sense of really, really bad. I mean, you get at this point you get to pick 10 or so, and you have no fucking clue what you're doing anyways.
Right.
Look at that. Took
Yep.
us what half an hour before I dropped the first F-bomb.
There you go. See, I have a good influence on you.
I'm going to call it a bad influence.
And just so we know, if we want to compare 84, who I still think 96 is better than, even though 84's top is better, they had these 5 busts in the lottery: Sam Bowie, Mel Turpin, Lancaster Gordon, Tim McCormick, and Leon Wood. Leon Wood is an NBA referee right now, but those 5 I would say are busts.
Yeah. So now this is. I think Sam Bowie gets a bad rap because of obviously where he's picked. He played 10 years, 511 games.
Okay, if he was picked number 11,
I
wouldn't have said he's a lottery bust.
Correct. Yeah, he's a bust because Jordan was behind him in Barkley. Yeah. Leon Wood, 6 years. McCormick, 8 years. Who else was the other one? Did you say? Oh yeah, Lancaster Gordon was 4 years, 200 games. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
And it might be too far away to exactly call them busts. Like they probably had careers similar to some of the guys that we see now that we wouldn't say they're busts, but looking back, you don't remember them, as guys that meant something to the league.
Yeah, when I was, granted, 84. In 84, I was 7 years old. So at that point, I'm not going to remember, guys like Lancaster Gordon and like I don't remember that, like Melvin Turpin. I have no idea.
From Kentucky, Melvin Turpin. I remember all those guys. That was
Kentucky. Here's Kentucky. Here is Kentucky.
Lancaster Gordon, I think he was Louisville, right?
Yep, he was Louisville. Yep. Leon Wood, Cal State Fullerton, like that's crazy. That's crazy. But again, it goes back to like, what does that mean? Talent-wise, like where do these guys from 2003, where would they fit into this draft? And that's the one thing I enjoy talking about the most is like how does everyone evolve to basketball? Like this is a Barkley thing. This is why I don't like Barkley. Like, I think Barkley thinks I'm the greatest power forward ever, and I could play now, and I'm not so sure. Like I'm not so sure. Like I think basketball players now are better than they were 20 years ago. I think this is reality.
Yeah, they are, but you can't. I mean, you could play point guard against Bob Cousy back 50 years ago, but
thank you.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Let's stop talking about Bob Cousy being one of the best players ever.
Well, he was the best player at the time, even though he could just dribble with one hand, and he's a point guard.
Great. Fantastic. Get him out of here. I don't care.
Well,
I don't. You have to do this because you played in the NBA. There's this fraternity. Like I have to respect all these NBA players. I don't. Like no. I don't. There's no way these guys could even play basketball right now.
So then, no quarterback before Dan Marino should be counted as an all-time great because
done. Asterisk. Put it on there. Put a little asterisk. Yes. This is just reality. You put it. There should be a Hall of Fame that says like 1970 to 1990. Then there's another Hall of Fame, and then there's another Hall of Fame. Like it's the world we live in.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I get what you're saying. That there's 500 players right now that would be better than than most of the players in the 80s, except for like Magic and Larry and a few others. But our Holy Cross team would probably make the playoffs in 1955 in the NBA. You know what I mean? So it's and nobody's going to argue that we should be Hall of Famers.
Jeff, I don't even have a Holy Cross team, and my Holy Cross team would make the NBA playoffs in 1955. You just like there are like no one's going to argue that Michael Jordan would play in any era. Like that's going to he transcends everything. But there are other guys that like I don't think that would. I don't think they might have been all-timers in the mid-90s, and I don't think they would be now. No. If you put them –
I agree.
yeah, we talk about fit, like we talk, Draymond Green, stuff like that. Like he is the ultimate, right? Oh, he's the fit player. There are guys that can play, like John Stockton. He's a 6'2" white guy. He could play in any era because he just understands the game. Like he could do it. He's more of a. I mean, you need to have guys around him, obviously, but like, Jordan is just, Jordan's gonna transcend. LeBron, no matter what era it is, LeBron's gonna be. He's fine. But there, like I said, brought up Bill Laimbeer. There's plenty of those other guys. Like, all right, well, could they play now? Could they play? And if they did play now, maybe they could play now. But how actually good would they be right now?
Right. Yeah. I get it. I get it. It's hard to compare eras, though. It really is, because you're just saying everybody's bigger, faster, stronger, and I don't know. But you're right. There's two-thirds of the league that was playing in '85 probably wouldn't be playing in 2020.
Yeah. I can't even imagine it.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to. It's almost like you have to have. Nothing new, but like you have to have a unique skill at this point, right? Like
right.
The reason that people like Kyle Korver, even like JJ Redick, my favorite player of all time, he survives because he has one unique skill that he can do better than almost anyone in the league.
Right.
And if you don't have that, and you're not athletic, you're kind of screwed.
Right. I agree.
And even you can and the flip side of that is you can have the most athletic guys, and if they don't know the game of basketball, they can't shoot, and they just are just athletic.
Stromile Swift.
You can't. Well, I wouldn't throw him out there as one of the most athletic guys, but
Stromile Swift.
Someone said Stromile Swift would be perfect for when I was doing this research, perfect for the NBA today.
Really?
Yeah, because he would be a complete perfect small ball 5 guy. Because he's bigger and he's athletic. He'd be perfect.
He was. I was with him with the Grizzlies in veterans camp. He could fly. He could fly out of the gym, but he didn't really know how to play. That's what I'm saying that you just said.
Yeah.
Athletic guys that don't really know how to play. That's him. But maybe he could be like a Capella. Pick and roll to the hoop for alley oops.
Yeah, but think about and then even goes in more of a fit. Like Capella gets run out of Houston because Harden and Westbrook have no use for him.
That's a unique situation, though. That's a unique situation.
But everything is so fit. Like it is so much what team, and we'll get onto this even at this point probably with Herro in a little bit. But like, if you do not have a right fit, you will be run out of the league. Like you said it. Like you played overseas with so many guys that could have played in the league.
Right.
But they don't get the chance, or they don't have the right fit, or anything like that, and it's like they're useless. It's that there is I guess I'll ask you this. I've said this on my podcast before, but like there is a certain percentage of guys that can play in the NBA no matter what. Doesn't matter if fit, teammates, whatever. They are it's LeBron, those guys.
Right. And
everyone else is kind of in this like, if I can get to the right team, I'm gonna make it. I'll be fine.
Yeah.
So I guess my question is, like, what in your opinion, because you've been, you obviously know more than I do, but what is that percentage? Like what rough estimate, like that guys are, no matter what, your NBA, other guys kind of all over the place.
Right. Well, I mean, I would say, I don't know, one third of the league is probably, they're going to be in the NBA no matter what.
Yeah.
There's some like, and we come back to Draymond. Draymond wouldn't have been a known player for many other teams besides the Warriors. He wouldn't be a known player. I've made this argument many times with people. If he played for Sacramento during that stretch, we would not be ever saying his name. The only people that would be following him were former Michigan State fans.
Yep, I agree.
I'm trying to think of some other guys that might fall into that. Well, let's go back to Duncan Robinson. Duncan Robinson was not drafted. Duncan Robinson, barely played last year, and now he's got more made threes than anybody. He's found the spot that he fits into, and he's got a role, and he's coming through and making it happen. JJ Redick played for the Bucks one year and did next to nothing, and then he's with with
half a year.
Eh, would the Bucks love to have the real JJ?
Oh, they would kill for JJ Redick right now.
Redick? No, JJ Redick is great with Philly, and now where is he now though? Gosh, where is he? Where did he go? Oh, he's at New Orleans. He's at New Orleans.
Can you not hear me? New Orleans. Can you hear me? We're glitching. New Orleans.
Yeah, it was glitching. Yeah, it was New Orleans.
Yeah, if you don't think the Bucks you don't think the Bucks would kill for JJ Redick right now? Holy hell!
Right. Yeah. So it's I don't know percentage. Maybe it's 1/3. 1/3 is no matter what. 1/3 is if I'm in the right fit, I become a starter. If I'm not in the right fit, I become a 9-10 guy, and I don't become have a long career. And then there's 1/3 that are hoping to get from place to place each year. It's kind of like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, I ask you because you obviously know better than I do, but
you follow. I follow NBA pretty well. I'm sure you follow it even more because you don't really have much of a life, so that's what you kind of do.
What the hell does that mean? So disrespectful.
I'm messing with you. I'm joking. Speaking of life, then, so let's go on to the next topic. Whatever it is you want to go on to.
Well, let's discuss how are the beards coming in?
Yeah, yours looks nice, man. Yours looks nice. Mine's thick. I haven't even shaved my neck or anything. I'm just letting it go.
I'll shave the neck. I said Tanya's not happy. She's like, this is awful. You need to shave. I'm like, nope, not shaving until the NBA is coming back. Yeah. That's my stance.
Yeah.
And I realize how gray I am.
I know. Me too. I didn't realize you were that gray.
I know. It's weird because my hair's not gray. It starts with the sideburns and then it just goes down. Other than that, I'm fine up here.
Right. Yeah. I'm getting grayer and balder up top.
How is your quarantine going? How's your shutdown, lockdown, whatever you want to call it?
Yeah, I don't know. Isolation, quarantine, lockdown. It's fine. I work from home. Business is slower than normal because most of my sales are to teams and schools and whatnot, and they're not playing any games.
Yep.
But as long as there's a football season, it should be all right. But as far as the lockdown part of it, the boys are getting along well. They're bonding, so that's kind of cool. Alexis and I might have a drinking problem. We don't know.
We know we do over here. So you're fine.
Yeah. But I don't know. We sit out by the fire about 4 nights a week and get in the hot tub after the fire. Play some 2-on-2 with the boys a little bit, and go on a walk every day, and complain about not wanting to work out, even though we have plenty of time to do it.
Your life sounds a lot like mine over here. Like, we'll get outside. We'll shoot hoops in the backyard. I do hot tub twice a day. Tanya and I will go for a walk. She'll be like, I think we drink too much. I'm like, what the fuck do you think everyone else is doing? Everyone's drinking too much right now. This is just how it is right now.
Yeah.
There's not much else. I mean, I guess it's kind of how we're, the life we're living right now. It's just kind of, yeah, you're right though. Like, a lot of people, like, if I had enough time, I'd work out all the time. I'd work out in 2 hours in the morning, no big deal. And it's like, sleep till however long you can, and no big deal.
No. So, yeah. All right.
Okay.
What's next?
Our next topic, which is we have to. We don't have. You don't have to if you don't want to. We can say whatever we want. It's up to you if we want to post it. Let's talk about crazy parents.
Okay.
I'm done. I'm not done. But I'm done. I was talking to a buddy of mine, and he doesn't have Facebook, and he goes, I don't get the point of Facebook. Like, why are you on Facebook? And I said, I like watching. This is going to sound so bad. I'm like, I go on Facebook to make myself pissed off about all these other fucking parents posting shit about their kids. Like, it just literally just pisses me off so much. and it's look, it's bad. We all know it, right? Anyone who's listening to this is going, oh, what are you talking about? Everyone knows what we're talking about, right? there are fathers out there, and it's not mothers for the most part. It is fathers out there that promote their kids beyond like where I want to throw up. I'm done with it. Like, if you want to post shit about your kids to your family, then take a video and send it over text or email, or do what we're doing, have a Zoom video, bring it outside, show your mother that your kid can shoot hoops outside. I don't need it shoved down my throat on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And this is nothing new. You know this. I've been talking about this for months.
Right.
But there are certain people, and again, I'm not going to say who, but if you listen to me and you know who I am, you know who I'm talking about. I'm so annoyed with it. And it's funny as hell because the people that are doing it, their kids aren't that good.
Well, here's my take on it. That there are some things that you can post, like you won a championship or this, that, and the other, but the parents that are constantly posting 1-on-0 workouts of their kid on Twitter or whatever else, that's strange to me. And then I'm not on Facebook, and I'm glad I'm not, because I think it would anger me. Similarly, not so much on that topic, but there's other things too. But so on Twitter, then there are parents that will they don't comment, they don't even say anything about life. It's only about their one kid. Their one kid that supposedly has all these colleges after him that hasn't even played a varsity game yet. And I think this guy has another kid, but you wouldn't know it based on his Twitter feed. And then I'll watch his 1-on-0 workouts and like, all right, he doesn't have quickness, he doesn't have athleticism, his jump shot is slowish. Man, he must really know these coaches or something.
You've already said more than I thought you would ever say, so I thank you for that. But that's the. There's so many thoughts in my mind right now. I can't believe it. It's just, I was going to actually ask you this. Like, if you look at, like, who are the most, like, decorated athletes in the state of Wisconsin over the last 5 years? You would say Jalen Johnson's probably number one, right?
As far as high school basketball players, yeah.
Yeah. How many offers did he have as a freshman?
I don't remember. Probably.
My guess, I don't either. My guess.
Right.
My guess is 0. Anything more? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, I know.
I get it because look, I had a conversation with someone years ago about holding their kid back, right? Because that's another thing, right? And it's well known. McCabe was held back for a year from 8th to 9th grade or whatever, right? And my guess is it was because of basketball. I had a conversation with someone else about that, about their holding their son back, and he was like, "Why would I not hold my kid back if I could get him a scholarship?" And I was just like, "You're an idiot. Like, if your kid's good enough to play, he's good enough to play. Like, you don't need to hold him back a year just to get the. I mean,
right. I get what you're saying. In my opinion, Jordan didn't need to be held back in order to be the level of basketball player that he became. He was as recruitable as a junior as he was as a senior.
Agreed. Totally agree.
For Jordan. All right. There are kids that are late bloomers. If I had been held back a year, I would have been playing Division I football. Because I wasn't, I went on and played basketball instead, and that was fine. It worked out. But I was a late bloomer, and coming from a small school. Now, maybe part of it was just being a small school, and back then you don't get your name out there the way you can now. But I think if there are seriously late bloomers, there's a potential of where they can go from being a non-offered player to being a scholarship level player in 1 year. I know when I went to college my first year, I had to redshirt, and then I still wasn't any good. If I would have been held back, it would have been another step level up. But there's some that don't need to do it. There's some that are thinking about doing it that wouldn't play college sports anyway, whether they get held back or not. So yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one.
Yeah, I just don't like the thought process of, and first of all, I would say understand. Like, I understand like a parent going, well, if I can hold my kid back a year and I can get college paid for, why wouldn't I? But the basketball like lover in me is like, that's bullshit. Like, don't like your kid shouldn't be 19 playing against 18-year-olds or 18, you know what I mean? Like in high school, and I don't like it. And I had to have this conversation years ago with this person. I said, you're an idiot. I think you're stupid. I think it's wrong. If you think like, here's I guess my point is, if you are so much like passionate about basketball, right? Like, my kid's gonna play basketball, he's gonna do college basketball, whatever. Then your kid should be good enough to just play basketball because he works with them hard enough and all that stuff. And you don't need to take shortcuts to get him to that point.
Yeah. You're a little stronger on it than I am. I see.
No, I'm a lot stronger on it. I know that. I am.
You're right. You're a lot stronger. Yeah. I see some potential for it, but I think some people make decisions that they don't need to make. Certainly, or talk about making decisions they don't need to make.
So anyways, should we let's set rules for parents. Maybe we gotta set rules for parents of what they can post and what they can't post, or what I want to look at. I don't want to see your workouts in the driveway. I don't.
Oh.
If you want your parents to see the grandkids workouts, send it to them. I don't want to see it on anything. I don't care.
I am 100% in agreement with that. I don't need to see a driveway workout of a kid just randomly. If there's some ball handling challenge like the Appleton North kids are doing with one another and they have to post it on Twitter, that's fine. But I don't need to see a random
Totally cutting out, Jeff.
So-and-so's out there working on his game. Okay.
Hang on.
Yeah, so are most other.
Okay.
Is that better?
You totally glitched the last like 10 seconds.
Yeah. I was just saying that I more or less agree with you that we don't need to see their driveway workouts on their own, And then the other thing that I would say, let's put it in here. If you get an offer, put the coach's name that offered you.
Yeah, I do not want to see a postcard with the school that says like, oh, thank you for your, whatever. Like, again, I posted this on Twitter, I think months ago. There is every school has a website that you can go to and put like interest, whatever, and you can fill out your information, and they will send you updates or whatever. They'll send you a postcard, all that stuff. That does not mean that you have an offer. That literally means that you signed up for that means like sign up for a food service. Like,
right.
And so I don't need parents turning that into, oh, look at this. They've got interest in my kid. Look at, oh my God, Stanford sent me a.
But you do know though, you are like probably the at the high end of unhinged parents in reaction to this stuff, right?
I'm unhinged or
unhinged in the reaction to it.
Doesn't make me happy, Jeff.
Right. I mean, that's what I said. Like, I don't get too upset about it at all, but it's like, really? Why? But you're funny.
But I get upset because I don't like that. I hate that people believe it. Like, I hate that there are people that look at these posts and are like, oh my God, did you see this kid? He's got like 15 offers. People like, he's really, really good. And it's like, no, he's not good at all. He hasn't played a varsity game, and he's not really good at all anyways. And here's a bigger picture of all this. this kid at some point, whatever kid it is, we know sometimes, this kid at some point has to play varsity basketball.
Right.
Once he does, and he doesn't, and if, I shouldn't say when, maybe if he does not perform, everyone's going to be like, wait a second. For the last year, I just saw a bunch of posts about how this kid had a bunch of offers and interest. The kid isn't doing shit. And then you have to, as a parent, you have to answer to that. And like, I know if I did this to my kids, if I posted this shit about my kids, they would kill me. Like, my kids get mad when I go and talk to them when they're playing 2K.
Right.
Like, if I'm videotaping them and posting shit about them, they would be irate. There we go. Are we done with this?
I think so.
All right.
All right. You want to talk about your Miami Heat or not?
We have to. Every Over and Back podcast talks about Tyler Herro. Have you?
Right.
Do you have any Tyler Herro info? Any opinion at all? Do you follow him on Instagram or Twitter, Snapchat, anything?
I do not follow him on anything. I don't.
Okay.
I don't think I have. I don't think I follow any like famous athletes. Andrew Bogut I follow, but he's not even in the NBA anymore. But
why the hell do you follow him?
because he's funny. I think I follow Robin Lopez too. They have good reactions to things. Yeah.
Okay.
But no, I do not post Herro or whatever. But he's another one that makes me think that I could have in my prime, I could have guarded him. I could have defended him. So it makes me think, all right, there are some, I'm not saying that I'm as good as him. He's a lottery pick or close to lottery. I don't know. Was he lottery? Okay. And, but he's somebody that I think that a coach could put me on and I wouldn't be embarrassed by it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm not going to say I could guard.
Now I would. Now you can almost embarrass me, but.
Holy hell. I don't know about that, but. So Tyler Herro, I had it up. So you would think in this time, right? We've had a lot of athletes donating money and all that stuff. Tyler Herro's not, I don't think, donating any money at all. There's a YouTube video of him about how he spent his first $1 million.
Really?
Yeah.
How was it?
Let me.
I don't care how the video is. I'm just curious what he spent it on.
It was like, God damn it, do I have it up here? It was like $20,000 for the chef. Here we go. Gucci purse, $5,000. Mercedes, $200,000. $60,000 Jeep. $60,000 clothes. $60,000 apartment. You get the picture. You get the picture of what Tyler Herro is doing with his money. And then, did you hear CJ McCollum talk about how like at least 150 NBA players probably are living paycheck to paycheck?
Yeah, I heard about that.
I'm pretty sure Tyler Herro is one of them.
Yeah, he might be if he spent that much already.
My God. And apparently he got a Snapchat hacked this past week. He was.
Oh, really?
So he's. It's funny because I'm on Twitter, all that stuff, whatever. So you can see what like he likes. If he likes a post or likes a tweet, you can see it.
Yeah. Right.
So he's been liking this chick on Twitter, who's, whatever. A woman on Twitter.
Yeah.
And you can tell and if you read the article about when he got hacked, it says like how he's had this social media like interest in this girl.
Okay.
Like if you just you gotta Google it, Jeff, and then you'll see like, yeah, this seems like Tyler. This seems like Tyler Herro. So
you're saying that that he legitimately got hacked, or is this a a pretend hack type thing?
All right, so I kind of ran two stories together. So apparently there's a girl there's a kind of like Instagram model that he likes on Twitter or on Snapchat or Twitter, I guess. And but then I didn't even see that he got hacked because I don't have him on Snapchat. But apparently there was a Snapchat photo of a chick with like a low cut shirt, and then She had something in her mouth to insinuate you may know what. And like the next day it said, hey, I got hacked, we're dealing with it, whatever. I actually maybe think he got hacked. I have no idea. I don't fucking care.
You think Jamal Murray got hacked? You think Jamal Murray got hacked?
No. Jamal Murray, because that's well, I don't know. That's Jamal Murray's girlfriend.
Okay. All right. So there you go.
I'm assuming you saw the video?
I tried to. I saw enough.
Okay. I'm sitting there. I was downstairs, obviously when it happened, whatever, and one of the kids came out. Sam, did you see that Jamal Murray got hacked? And I'm like, I saw it. Yeah, I saw it. Like, did you see it? Like, oh yeah. Yeah, because it's everywhere. That's it's scary. Okay, so you really have nothing to tell me about Tyler Herro. Am I the only one that hates Tyler Herro?
No, I'm sure there are others. But here's the deal. I have to think that you also will admit that he has outperformed yours and my expectations of what he would do this season.
Yeah, actually, that was one of the questions I was going to ask you. So if you look at Herro, and let's bring Halliburton into this too, because Halliburton apparently is going to be a top 5 to 10 pick.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Fucking year.
Yeah.
Put yourself at that age.
Mm-hmm.
Compare yourself to those two kids.
At that age, I was a second-year freshman at GB who sucked. I had just redshirted my first year, and then I started like 6 games my second year, so my redshirt freshman year, and I wasn't any good. Herro is a lottery pick, and Halliburton's going to be the number 5 pick. Number 5 in '96 was Ray Allen. Number 5 in 2003 was Dwayne Wade.
Did you guys? I can't remember. Did you guys play when they played in Holy Cross? You guys didn't play them, did you?
No, we didn't play them. I went and watched.
Okay. Halliburton wasn't even the best player on that team.
He
wasn't either. Keyshawn Justice was.
Yeah.
Justice was insane.
Yeah.
Like he's rotting away at Santa Clara. Not to say rotting away, but I mean he's. And look, that's a tournament in Wisconsin that is. It is what it is, right? I mean.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't make him necessarily, 2 years down the road better than player X or player Y. But I wish the best for Halliburton. I like his attitude. I like his mindset. Yeah. If you would have told me 2 years ago that he would be a lottery pick, I would have said you're insane.
It is crazy. If you would have said that Holy Cross weekend, and because Herro was supposed to play with those guys, my guess is that Cal Perry told me he couldn't, whatever. Right. But if you would have told anyone that weekend that Herro was going to be a lottery pick the next year and Halliburton was going to be a lottery pick 2 years later,
right?
Like you guys you're like you don't know shit. Like that is right. Insane to me that's what happened. It's crazy.
Yeah, I know. It really is.
And I know, like this, they've said, last year's lottery was sketchy. This year's lottery is not good.
Right.
I mean, But to be fair, Herro can only say he was a lottery pick. Halliburton's going to be able to say he was a lottery pick. I mean, I guess the end game is your longevity. If Herro's in the league for 15 years, and my guess is he probably will be, because as much as I say that he's not an elite shooter, which he hasn't proven that he is, he has a stigma about him, or a credibility about him, that he is an elite shooter, that he'll always be given a chance.
He'll get gigs. He'll get gigs down the road. Like say he doesn't become what the Heat want him to be, he'll get gigs with some other teams that need a shooter. And like I said, I didn't think he was a lottery pick, in my opinion, for Herro going into the lottery. I thought he would be a 10-point-a-game guy. Once I saw how the rotation was going, I said, he's probably a 10-point-a-game guy. I think he outperformed my expectations. I think he's before he got hurt, he was about a 13 a game guy, maybe 14. I don't know. I wasn't playing the crunch minutes as the season went on. Like when it was the late fourth quarter minutes, there was some other guys in there. Don't know for sure, but at the end of the day, he has outperformed my expectation of him.
Well, yeah, my expectation was that he was going to be at a school for 3 or 4 years and probably go overseas or something. Like that's the other question. Like you listen to, if you follow like Evan Flood and those guys on these Badger homers.
Yeah.
Where would Herro be if he would have stayed at Wisconsin? You know, someone asked the question, how many players?
He would still be in Wisconsin. He would still be playing for the Badgers.
Right. Yeah. You know, I can't remember what the question was. Someone pointed like how much did Wisconsin help these guys become NBA or basketball players? And I said, well, how much did it help that they didn't go to Wisconsin? You know, how much is their career better because they didn't go to Wisconsin?
Right.
And someone brought up Matt Thomas, obviously. Right? Matt Thomas, right?
From Alaska?
Yeah. Because he didn't go to Wisconsin. He went to Iowa State. You know, Herro, and here's another. Like I've always defended Herro on that. The best thing that Herro ever did was not go to Wisconsin.
Yeah.
You know?
Here's the deal. I don't think Wisconsin recruits players to send them to the NBA. I think Kentucky recruits players to send them to the NBA.
100%. Yeah, for sure.
So, in my opinion, those fans or critics of the Badgers shouldn't say, "Hey, the Badgers stink" because they're not sending NBA players. They're trying to make their Badgers the best they can be. Okay.
Right.
Now, does it stink for the Badgers if they lose the top Wisconsin high school players? Yeah, probably, and it maybe looks bad, but it's not wrong of Herro to say, I have a potential to maybe be an NBA player in a couple of years. Kentucky's probably a spot for me. At the same time, some of those guys that decide to go to the Badgers, they know they're there. There's a reason why they go there. They're not lottery picks. They're not necessarily even NBA players, but they're going to enjoy their time trying to find success for that team in their 4 years there. So. Yeah. I wouldn't get mad at Herro for deciding to go to Kentucky, but I know half of the state of Wisconsin got mad at him.
Well, yeah, the lunatic side, yeah, that's fine. Which, whatever. I mean, do you know much about Johnny Davis?
I just know that I like watching him play, and I think he's a very good player.
So I wonder where I met Johnny years ago, like in passing, because when my kid was like one of my kids was like in 3rd or 4th grade, played for the Warriors. Johnny Davis was on the Warriors, whatever. Yeah. And same thing I met Jalen Johnson and his family, years ago, whatever, like in a small aspect, whatever. Johnny Davis is a absolute alpha dog. Like he is an absolute, like, I don't want anyone around me. Give me the ball and I'm the guy.
Really?
Oh God, yeah. It's so from what I've heard, so Davis and Jalen Johnson played AAU together. And then going into the last year, Johnny Davis family, whatever you want to say, basically said, we're done playing second fiddle to Jalen Johnson,
mm-hmm.
and wanted to leave. And then somewhat left. Jalen Johnson, obviously, this was around the same time that Phenoms was created.
Yeah.
So Phenoms gets Jalen Johnson. Johnny Davis goes back to where he was at, and he becomes the alpha dog.
Right.
And just destroys it.
Right.
I'm excited. I'm an anti-Badger guy. I'm excited to watch him at Wisconsin because I love his absolute attitude. I absolutely love him.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm excited too. I'm neither an anti-Badger guy nor a pro-Badger guy because I played at GB and then we played against the Badgers, so they are rivals. That said, I follow them as closely as any other college team just because they're the team in the state, and watch the most just because they're on TV and my friends follow them, closely for the most part. So I'm excited to see what he does for him. Yeah, I think I liked watching him in the state tournament.
And then I get torn because Jalen Johnson's going to Duke, obviously, which is my team.
Your team.
I'm not. I guess I should say I'm torn. It's gonna be really weird for me to watch someone that I've actually met, and like seen
Right.
through years at tournaments and stuff like that, play for Duke. It's really weird to me. And I don't know, like there's a lot of good players at Duke. Like I don't know what he's gonna do. Who knows what kind of fit he is? Like all these guys at Duke that are going there are all potential lottery picks, right?
Yeah, I think Jalen Johnson is up there. I wasn't hugely impressed by him for the first game of the state tournament. Was it last year? Yeah. Last year. I thought he played too nonchalantly for the bulk of it, and then it must have been the championship game where he took over parts of it, and it's like, okay, yep, now I see what they're saying. And then you watch highlights now on whatever you want to watch it on, and you see his explosiveness and his size and ability and talent and whatnot. And I think he's an NBA a one and done type guy.
Oh well, yeah, he's one and done for sure. I've always said, as I've done this podcast, like I don't want to hammer on high school kids or anything like that. There's a cutoff, right? At some point, you're not a high school kid, you're a college kid. I don't know where that is. We could say that it's right now because high school is essentially done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You've kind of alluded to it. Like I've always loved Jalen's game. I've watched it. I've seen him since he was a fifth grader. My biggest fear is that what you said, like, is just kind of like nonchalant. Like, I don't know if I know that Davis is an alpha dog. I don't know if Jalen Johnson is.
Gotcha. Yeah.
That's my thought. Like, Jalen Johnson has always played with really good players. At Sun Prairie, comes over to Nicolay, always like he's probably been the best player on the team.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying.
He's always had really good players around him.
He hasn't had
Duke.
He hasn't had to carry a huge load, but at Duke, he's not going to have to carry a huge load either.
No, right. That's my point. So we're gonna watch him at Duke, and he's gonna be this slasher that's gonna look amazing. And we're not really gonna know, in my opinion, we're really not gonna know who Jalen Johnson is until he's in the NBA.
Yeah,
so
you might be right.
How do you evaluate that? Like, think about that. If you're an NBA GM, how do you evaluate all these guys, these kids that athletically Jalen Johnson he's off the charts. You watch him, he's amazing.
Yeah.
But again, like what I just said, he's never been like, there's never been like, here's Jalen, here's all these other kids in this team.
Right.
He's always had like really, really good basketball players around him.
Sure.
What happened?
So, well, the question is what's he gonna become? Is he gonna be Tim Thomas, or is he gonna be
Green? It's gonna be Gerald Green. Gerald Green.
Yeah. Right. I'm saying you don't want him to become Tim Thomas. Somebody who had the ability and the talent, but played lazily and nonchalantly, or is he going to be Gerald Green, or is he going to be like who's an all-star wing slasher type? Is he going to be like a, I don't know, Sean Marion, or I don't know. Gosh, I can't even think of a stud slasher right now that's a NBA all-star. I don't know. But I don't know.
Jaylen Brown.
I think
Jason Tatum. Jaylen Brown. I just think the Celtics. I have no idea.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, those two. Yeah, you're right. Those two guys. Yeah.
Well, half the NBA is like 6'8" slashers.
Yeah.
That's literally half the NBA.
Right. I was trying to think of a standout all-star, but Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Those would be good.
Yeah, but like we don't.
He
know,
turns into them. That's good.
Well, Jesus, no shit. Yeah, but like, do we know? Like, can Jalen Johnson shoot from NBA range? Probably not.
I don't know how many high school kids can. at the level that you have to. But
My
you
kid
can
can.
get
I have a kid. I have a kid that can.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
here,
We
let
won't
me-
know, but we won't know
'Cause I
how
won't
good
put
he
it on-
is until he's in the NBA.
I have to put it on Twitter. I have to put my kid shooting NBA threes on Twitter.
We won't know how good your kid is from shooting NBA threes until he's in the NBA.
True, which is probably not going to happen. Probably not going to happen.
Yeah, but
Not at,
you know,
not at
right.
not at 5'11". No, but I'm excited. I'm excited obviously because it's a Wisconsin kid going to Duke. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. Isn't it weird that we have like we've had Herro and Halliburton, now Johnson, like and McCabe even in West Virginia, like all of a sudden it's erupted out of Wisconsin.
And Patrick Baldwin next year.
Yeah, Baldwin. Shit. Yeah. Okay? So you listen. When's the last time you talked to Baker?
Monday.
Oh, well, you guys play basketball. Do you guys still play basketball or no?
No, we're on lockdown, man.
Oh, whatever. Baker's like, Wisconsin basketball sucks. I'm like, yeah, fully aware it does. Like, he's like, Wisconsin high school basketball sucks.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. In general, yeah.
Yeah. So it's funny, like, which we would probably agree with, like, but we've got apparently all these kids are going to be
Studs.
lottery picks.
Yeah, studs.
It's weird.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it is. And what did I see? Hunter, who is it? Tyrese Hunter got offered from Georgia Tech.
Yeah, from Racine, yeah.
Yeah. So that's another ACC player right there. You know, it's crazy.
God, it's crazy. It's insane.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, how's Baker doing? I haven't talked to Baker lately. How's he doing?
He's doing all right. It's struggling because the AAU season's not is up in the air, and he's got all these tournaments that he's registered for, all these uniforms he's bought, and he might not have a season. You know, that stinks. You know, I don't know how it's going to play out for Harry's team, for Blizzard, for everybody. You know, it's.
Yeah, I was gonna say you coach a team. Jameson was on a Blizzard team, so.
Yeah, it's strange. I was really looking forward to it, especially for my older son, for Dawson, just because last year was not the best situation. But looking forward to this year, he was going to be playing on a top Blizzard team and playing in some good tournaments, and he's developed quite a bit from where he was last year. So I wanted to see how he was as a 6'8" kid now, but now it's just going against me in the backyard. I can't score on him, dang it.
You come on, you can.
He's so long, man. He gets up.
You're fucking long. What are you talking about? You're long.
Yeah, but I need somebody to get me open. He gets up in my face on the 3-point line, so I can't take a three, and then he's able to slide with me, and then either blocks or defends my attacks to the rim, and I'm like, God dang. Like, defensively, I have to choose. Am I going to defend the perimeter or am I going to defend the drive? I can't do both. He does both.
Let him shoot.
Yeah, that's what I do. But now he's starting to make you.
How tall are you and how tall is he? Glitched.
Did I just lock up for a second there?
Totally. You glitched when I asked you how tall are you and how tall is he?
Okay, I'm 6'6". He's 6'8". The difference though is he's in shape. I'm not in shape. And
clearly.
And then, but I would also, like, if I was picking a team to go play in a tournament 5-on-5, I would pick me over him because I'd have some other guys to get me open because my ability to shoot it is still more valuable than his length. But I found out that I need people to get me open because playing 2-on-2 with Alexis and me, my wife and me, against Langdon and Dawson, she's not a big enough threat to enable me to have free openings.
How tall is Alexis?
6'1".
Okay, that's what I was gonna say. I know she's taller than me, but okay, Jesus God.
Yeah.
Your kid should be like 7 feet tall.
Yeah, hopefully they get there.
You should feel cheated at this point.
I know.
I'm hoping for 6 feet, for God's sakes.
Yeah. No, Dawson's 6'8". If he can get to 6'9", that would be great. But he's got 7-foot wingspan. I mean, if he's 6'8", he can be a D3, maybe a scholarship D2 NAI, big. If he wants to be, if he works at it and gets bigger and whatnot, and improves. But Langdon is right now only 6 feet tall, but the hope is he's always been a little taller than Dawson growing up, so hopefully he can get 6'8" to 6'10", something like that. We'll see.
Not fair. It's not fair.
Well, I married for breeding purposes,
Yeah, I know you did. I know, Dad. When did you meet your Lexi?
98 when I was with in the NBA. Well, I was actually in the CBA at the time, but then got called back up for 2 10 days with the Bucks.
How the hell did you guys meet?
We want to do this on YouTube?
Yeah, you don't want to.
Zoom?
I can edit it out.
That's fine. No, it's fine.
If this is a one-night stand story, we don't have to talk about it. But
no, it turned out not to be. It turned out not to be. So we went to a basketball game at Butler because Sherry was playing. My sister Sherry was playing against in the conference tournament. And so I was there for the semifinal, and I was watching, and I saw this girl underneath the basket watching. So Alexis played at Butler, but she was there watching because she had graduated the year before. And I asked my buddy Jeff Rogers, I go, Rogers, who is that down over there? He goes, oh, that's Alexis Prophet. I go, oh, I remember her playing at Butler. She wore number 33 like I did. And so I said, hey, I'm coming back for the championship game tomorrow. Let her know I want to talk to her. So I come back, watch the game. GB girls beat Butler for the championship. I asked my buddy Rogers, I go, did you tell Alexis that I want to talk to her? He said, no, I forgot. I find out later that he had a crush on her too, so he wasn't gonna. So anyway, I just went over and talked to her and found out where everybody was going afterwards, and went to a bar and down in Broad Ripple area in Indy, and then do an after bar party, and then she had a boyfriend at the time, but I was able to convince her that I'm cooler. And then, but here's the funny thing. So she figures, all right, I see this guy, I'll never see him again. So I go play in the CBA, and we're playing out in Idaho, and I get a call that Big Dog got hurt, and so they called me for 10-day for the Bucks, and our first game.
Let me pause. Glenn Robinson got hurt.
Yeah.
And that's when he went to go play for the Bucks.
Yeah, I wasn't like taking his spot, but
it's still God, I hate Glenn Robinson. But that's crazy. Okay. Continue.
So yeah. So then our first game was against the Pacers in Indianapolis, where she lived. And so I'm like, hey, Alexis, I'm coming to Indianapolis. Any chance you want to drive with me to Fort Wayne to get my gear? Because I'm going to be with the Bucks for a couple, for the month essentially. She goes, yeah. And so I'll get through the rest of the story real quickly here. So she came to the game. We hung out, and then she came to visit me in Fort Wayne after I got back from the Bucks for a couple of days, and then I went back to Minnesota where I was living in the off season, and she was going to come visit our lake cottage for Memorial Day. Well, I get a call from this team from this coach over in Norway, asking me to lead this team of Wayne Walker, Pat Grabner, and some other guys on a tour of Norway to play against the national team. And I'm like, no, I'm tired. I just got done with the season. Well, it was the reason I didn't want to is because Alexis was going to come visit. Well, they called back like 2 hours later. Hey, we got a sponsor that said they'd pay for your wife or your girlfriend or whoever if you have one. I'm like, hey, Lex, I know we've only been on like 2 dates, but you want to go to Norway for a week? She said, hold on. She called her friends, They're like, oh, might as well find out. Might as well find out if you like him or not. Get a free trip to Norway.
Wow.
Yeah. So our third date was a 7-day trip to Norway.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Obviously, I did not know that. You never told me that. That's funny.
Yeah. I've told it before. There's other parts to it, but that's probably.
Oh yeah, we don't need to. We don't need to hear the other parts on the podcast, Jeff. Okay. keep it to yourself.
No, I mean not all. I mean some of them are PG. What?
Well, I figured if it was PG, you would actually have said it, but okay. All right, so we've decided the 2003 draft is better than 1996, right?
I think you know the answer.
That's what we concurred.
I think you know the answer.
I got LeBron, I got Dwayne Wade, I got Chris Bosh.
And you think that threesome is better than
if I'm playing 3-3
is Kobe, Steve Nash, Ray Allen, Allen Iverson.
You don't get a fourth. I can play in 3-3.
All right. Who are the three then? Who are the three from '96?
From 96, I would take Kobe. I would take Kobe, Nash, and Allen. I wouldn't take Iverson. Yeah. It's stupid to say if we're playing a 3-3 game, but
right. I think it's pretty clear that the 96 draft is better than 2003.
All right, so we didn't do what we were gonna do. We're at like an hour and a half, so we're gonna end this. We're gonna wrap this up here. We're gonna have a part 2, because we did not read. I actually do want to redraft.
You do?
I do. I think we should.
Okay.
We can do it real quick if you want to do it real quick. LeBron's number 1, right?
I got my picks.
LeBron's 1. Kobe's number 2. Who's 3? Dwayne Wade, right?
Dwayne Wade is who I have listed as my number. Who would be number 3? Yeah. Then it gets guys that have a chance at it, and it's Nash, Ray Allen, and Allen Iverson, somewhere in that order, right?
God, I hate that Nash won 2 MVPs. I would probably take Nash.
Yeah. Yeah. So if it's D Wade, then Nash. Who you taking, Ray Allen or Allen Iverson?
I would take Bosh. I might take Bosh over Iverson.
Bosh over Iverson, and are you taking Bosh over Ray?
I might. Yeah, I might.
Really. And over Carmelo?
I hate Carmelo. I absolutely hate Carmelo.
Yeah. So I had it like this, and some of them are so close. LeBron, Kobe, D Wade, Nash, Iverson, Ray Allen, Chris Bosh, Carmelo, Jermaine O'Neal next. And then
Jermaine O'Neal, really?
Who do you have?
God, I think I'd take Ben Wallace over Jermaine O'Neal. Jesus, really?
You know, I can tell you this. Ben Wallace had a 3 or 4 year stretch where he was a super stud, and the Pistons had a nice run. He didn't have as long of a stretch of excellent play as Jermaine O'Neal. Ben Wallace also became a 45% free throw shooter. I don't know. If we were drafting for today, I would say Jermaine O'Neal over Ben Wallace. And I don't know if that's what we're trying to figure out or not. But I had Jermaine O'Neal, then I had Peja, then I had Ben Wallace.
Well, I didn't know that Jermaine O'Neal averaged 13 points a game. That's crazy.
Who? What?
Jermaine O'Neal averaged 13 points a game in his career.
No, but that's not accurate, because his first 4 years he hardly played at Portland. I mean, he had 6 or 7 All-Stars. He was All-Star 6 or 7 times.
I'm going off of Basketball Reference, which tells me that's what he did.
So look at his, let's say, start him in 2001 to 2010.
Oh well, you mean after when he got good, he got. Okay.
Look at his stats in that time.
So you're saying the first 3 years has after it obviously got better, right?
Yeah. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Because he was a high school kid that came off the bench, or was on the bench for Portland forever. All right, for like 4 years. All right. So look at if you're looking at Basketball Reference, look at his like I said, his 2001 to 2009. I mean, he was good then.
Yeah, I don't think I have that capability. Mo Williams, 13.2 points a game.
Yeah. Really? All right. Now let me see here. Basketball Reference. Because Jermaine O'Neal also played a few years at the end of his career where he did next to nothing. But all right, so let's go point. Where is it here? All right, so from the 01 to the 09 season, here's his scoring per game: 18, 20, 20, 25, 20, 20, 17, 16. Then in his prime is real good.
You take him over Peja? Do you hear me, Jeff, or no?
I have him over Peja. I do.
Wow.
Although
okay.
Peja would be really good in today's game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Josh Howard.
Average
14.3 points a game.
Yeah.
Smoked a lot of weed too. Positive.
Yeah, I'm not taking him. I take Camby over him. I take Sharif Abdul-Rahim over him. And then I think David West. If you go to 14, I'd put David West as the 14. LaMarcus Aldridge.
I did not even know. Rephrase your Aldridge comment. What did you just say?
I was saying that Sharif Abdul-Rahim was like LaMarcus Aldridge, essentially. Didn't play for quite as good of teams, but LaMarcus Aldridge is a 20-point-a-game guy that that's what Sharif was, a scorer that didn't win a lot of playoffs.
There was what I was going to say was I was doing the redraftable stuff, whatever. I can't believe that drafted Aldridge was in. I didn't even know that he was. Oh no, this is what it was. I was playing a Duke Texas game with Redick from senior year. It's my boys. It was like Redick against PJ Tucker, and Jameson's like, "Is that LaMarcus Aldridge?" I'm like, "Didn't even know he was in the game. Didn't even know it."
Really?
Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah. He's skinny as hell. Didn't even make an impact in the game. It was when Redick had like 40 points.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. A couple other things from the 96 draft. Derek Fisher was in that draft. So he was a player that played on some championship teams. He was a guy from that. He's not one that I would take in my lottery for sure. He was somebody. Malik Oz. Remember him when he was with the Spurs during their first little run of championships. Who else did I have that I missed here?
The person that was drafted right after you, Jeff. Who was drafted right after you?
Yeah, Shannon Anderson.
Yep, Shannon Anderson.
He was an important player for some championships.
Shannon Anderson was awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
Did you ever think about that? when you got drafted, and then all of a sudden, like, someone who was drafted after you, like, you were like, how the hell did I get drafted before this person?
Right. I can tell you that back in the day, I didn't know who Shannon Anderson was, but
Yeah,
obviously he's better
figured
than me.
that, but okay.
Amal McCaskill went 49. But yeah, 96 is much better.
Yeah, there's more depth. There's more depth for sure in 96, right?
Yep. I mean, LeBron's the best, clearly by far. Kobe's second, by far, clearly. And then it's D-Wade slightly over the next group of, Nash, Ray Allen, Iverson, Bosh, Carmelo.
But if you look, I mean, again, it's all how you determine what's best or not. Like, if you look at 2003, I mean, you got Luke Walton, 10 years, 500-plus games. Capono, Steve Blake, Willie Green, Zaza, Keith Bogans, Matt Bonner, Mo Williams, James Jones.
Nick Collison.
A lot of just like random, like vets.
Yep. Stuck around and played. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not. We can argue Shannon Anderson versus Mo Williams all day. I'll take Shannon Anderson, but.
Right. And Dante Jones, or not Dante Jones. Boris Diaw, was an important player. Well, are we about done, you think?
Yeah, I think we are. I think people are annoyed with listening to this goddamn draft. Like, we get it. You got drafted in 1996, Nordgaard. Let it go.
So edit the bad stuff. Make sure it all looks good.
What do you want me to edit out?
No, I'm joking.
I think we're good. I don't want to edit anything. I'm gonna actually leave this part in. I don't think we need to edit anything out, except for your wife coming in the office and leaving.
Okay, cool. You see her? Yeah. She heard me talking about our first couple of dates, and she wanted to come in and argue against them. No. All right.
Good talking to you, man.
Time to go watch a movie. Take care, man.
All right. See you, man. Good talking to you. See you.